For this last part, we're going to go over step 4 and step 5 to finish out the day. In step 4, you're going to discuss your experiences playing the game or review any challenges or questions you have with your partner to see if you can answer them together. Were there any scenarios that you had a hard time modeling? What did you learn from the game? And do you have more questions about body systems? The overall goal of this lesson is so that you realize that some scenarios are harder to model than others. For example, in the green group, we can take a look at this model that I did where there was no food in this person's stomach because they didn't eat any food in the morning. Without breakfast, there was no way for amino acids or starches to get there. That's actually fairly easy to model. By comparison, if you're in the purple group, one of your options was to model what happens to the circulatory and respiratory system when a patient is hooked up to a heart-lung machine during surgery. There's a lot more information here that it requires you to process and use, so it may be a little trickier for you if you've done it before. The goal is to get you and your partner to talk about these things so that you can see how you might model them in the future to understand how these machines work. Once you've done that, and you've answered the other two questions as well, like what did you learn from this game, and the questions you have about the systems, you're ready to wrap up the homework for the day. The homework is pretty straightforward. It requires you to read this article about the circulatory system. It's something we've talked about in class already, so you should be more than prepared to handle it. But if you're not, the whole article is here for you to read through, and some questions are here for you to answer. They're not terribly difficult. They're just things that require you to read the article before you answer. There's 3 in total, and it should take you about 10 to 15 minutes or so before you move on. When you're done with all of these sections, because this is a shorter day, especially once you get to playing the game and you get much better at it with your partner, we're going to have a little bit of time left in class. You can use this time to do 2 things. The first thing you can do is you can go back to chapter 2.4, which we did yesterday. You may not have finished all of the modules within, so you can go ahead and wrap them up now in order to make sure you get all the points for that day. If you're done with 2.4 and you finish 2.6, then you're ready to move on to the critical juncture. The critical juncture is more of a practice quiz, a chance for you to get extra practice on the test questions that come up later at the end of the unit. Last time, when we did the thermal energy unit, a lot of you guys did not do as well as I would have liked on your tests. So this will be a good chance for you to practice when you finish, and we'll get a chance to do it tomorrow also. Alright, now that you're ready to go ahead and make sure that when you're done with 2.6, you finish 2.4, and then try 2.5 for some practice.